Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you with us today because, honestly, we're going on a pretty fantastic grammatical journey. Today, we are totally focused on leveling up your English by mastering superlatives. We're going to take you all the way from the absolute basic rules right up to those slick, native speaker pro moves that are going to make your English sound incredibly natural and expressive. So whether you're just brushing up on what you already know or you're learning this for the very first time, I promise you by the end of our time together, you'll be throwing down superlatives like a total pro. Let's get into it. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. I want you to think of this less as a boring list and way more like levels in a video game. We'll start at level 1, what are superlatives? Then we'll beat level 2 by mastering short adjectives. After that, we'll tackle the trickier long words and exceptions. Then we unlock the really cool stuff with advanced superlative strategies, before finally facing the boss level, superlatives for actions. All right, kicking things off with level 1, section 1, what are superlatives? The absolute limits. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly what a superlative actually does. Basically, a superlative is an adjective describing an object that sits at the extreme upper or lower limit of a quality. Think about taking a describing word and just pushing it as far as it can literally go. You aren't just tall, you're the tallest. You aren't just small, you're the smallest. It is the absolute extreme edge of that description. Now, we really need to draw a hard line between two grammar concepts people mix up all the time, comparatives and superlatives. If you're comparing exactly two things, like say you and your brother, you use a comparative, you're taller than him. But the second you have a group of 3 or more people, places, or things, you absolutely must use a superlative. You are the tallest in your whole family. 3 or more, that is the magic number here. And, speaking of magic, when we talk about superlatives in English, there is one crucial magic word you almost always need to drop in right before the adjective. That word is the. It instantly signals to the listener that we're talking about that absolute limit. Like, out of all the animals in the world, the cheetah is the fastest. It just doesn't sound right without it, does it? Awesome! Moving right along to level 2, section 2, mastering short adjectives, adding est and st. So if your adjective is short, meaning it only has one sound or one syllable, the transformation is super easy. Rule 1 is basically this. You take your base word, like tall, you add our magic word the in front, and you just slap an est on the end. Tall becomes the tallest. John is the tallest boy in the class. Now, rule 2 is just a tiny little variation of that. If your short adjective already ends in the letter E, like the word nice, you obviously don't need to add another E. You just add st. So nice simply becomes the nicest. She is the nicest person. Or my house is the closest to the park. Pretty simple, right? But hey, watch out for rule 3. This one's often called the CVC rule. If your short adjective ends with a consonant, then a vowel, and then a consonant, you gotta double that final consonant before adding your est. Take the word hot. H is a consonant, O is a vowel, T is a consonant, so we double the T. August is the hottest month of the year, spelled with 2 T's. It's the exact same thing with sad, becoming the saddest movie. To really put this into perspective, think about this massive, grand example of Rule 3 in action. Big, B-I-G, consonant, vowel, consonant. We double that G and we get biggest. The blue whale is the biggest animal on Earth. You can actually hear that hard G sound when you say it out loud, really emphasizing just how enormous that creature truly is. And just like that, level 1 and 2 are cleared. Let's get into section 3, long words and exceptions, the tricky rules. Now we're facing rule 4. This one is specifically for 2-syllable adjectives that end in the letter Y. The mechanics here are a little different. You actually drop that Y entirely and you replace it with est. Think about the word busy. 2 syllables, ends in Y. We drop the Y and it becomes the busiest, as in Monday is the busiest day of the week. Same with happy. It becomes the happiest girl in the world. Okay, but what if the word is long, like 2 or more syllables, but it does not end in Y? Well, that brings us to rule 5. We actually completely stop using that est ending. Instead, we bring in helper words. To show the upper limit, we put the most in front of the word. So beautiful becomes the most beautiful. Dangerous becomes the most dangerous insect. But to show the exact opposite, the lower limit, we shift our approach entirely and use the least. So instead of saying something is the cheapest, you could say it's the least expensive option. Okay, I need you to take a deep breath, because everything I just taught you, we are about to throw it right out the window for these next specific words. These are the irregular adjectives, and they completely 100% ignore the rules. You just gotta memorize them. Good doesn't become goodest, it becomes the best. Bad becomes the worst, and far becomes the farthest or the furthest. It's strict, it's rigid, but honestly, once you know them, you're gonna hear them literally everywhere. And this brilliantly illustrates one of those irregulars in action with a totally cosmic example. Pluto is the farthest planet from the sun. We don't say the most far, we say the farthest. Throwing that into a sentence instantly elevates your English and makes you sound incredibly fluent. Awesome job, you've made it to level 3. Section 4, Advanced Superlative Strategies. Emphasize and drop. So you can actually make a superlative even stronger or establish a really specific ranking by dropping certain words right before it. You can say, she is by far the most talented, or that is easily the worst decision. But the absolutely crucial point I want you to focus on here is the one of the strategy. If you use this, it absolutely must pair with a plural noun. New York is one of the most exciting cities in the world, not city, cities. And finally, you can rank things, like he's the second tallest player. Now, to sound amazingly fluent, notice how native speakers constantly pair superlatives with life experiences. To pull this off, we blend our superlatives with the present perfect tense, and specifically, we add the word ever. When you do this, you've got to add some vocal energy to it. That was the scariest movie we have ever seen. Or, this is the most delicious food I have ever tasted. It just adds so much drama and passion to what you're saying. All right, ready for the ultimate pro move? It's dropping the noun entirely. If the context of your conversation is absolutely 100% clear, advanced speakers just drop the noun right at the end. Instead of saying, we have 3 cars, the red car is the fastest car, you just say, the red car is the fastest. Everyone already knows you mean car, so you just drop it. All the students did well, but Maria was the best. See? We just dropped student. It's clean, it's efficient, and it is very native sounding. Welcome to the boss level. Section 5, Superlatives for Actions, Comparing Adverbs. So, just like we can compare things, we can also use superlatives to modify verbs, to compare how actions are performed among a group. If your adverb ends in lie, the rule is actually super simple. You just use the most plus the adverb. For instance, just listen to this beautiful sentence. Of all the speakers, she spoke the most eloquently. We're comparing the action of speaking. We don't say she spoke the eloquentliest. No way. We say she spoke the most eloquently. Notice how smooth and elevated that sounds in practice? But of course, it's English, so naturally we have a few final exceptions lying in wait for us at the boss level. Even when they're used as adverbs describing actions, words like fast, hard, late, and early actually revert back to taking that est ending. So if someone puts in a ton of effort at their job, you don't say he works the most hard. You say he works the hardest out of everyone in the office. And wow, that brings us to the end of our journey today. But I literally cannot let you go without a final challenge. I want you to apply what you've learned from level 1 all the way to right now to fill in this blank. This is the shortest path to the beach, using the base word short. Think about the syllables. Think about the rules we covered. Say it out loud. Got it? Awesome. I really hope this explainer has empowered you to level up your grammar. Keep practicing, keep paying attention to those superlatives when you read and listen, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.